Hey guys, Luke here, Tranquility Based Detailing. Welcome to the next episode of Mystery Wax, What the Hell Is It and Who Sent It? For those that don't know, this wax got sent to me about 2 weeks ago. Covering letter saying try it and I'll tell you what it is afterwards. I'll show you the covering letter in a second. But yeah, for the last 2 weeks the search has been ongoing and fruitless, with virtually every wax producer in the UK claiming it's not them. But it's got to be one of them, stands to reason. Or none of them, and it's someone new. Who knows? But basically, the situation to this point is this. Everyone's had a guess. Everyone's kind of got their ideas. A lot of denial from a lot of guys. But David from Perfectly Cleaned, who has been a little bit of a go-between between me and the sender, has confirmed that the labels have now been posted. So we'll find out in a few days' time what this is and who sent it. And when that does happen, I'll put a reveal video together for you guys, and I'll get it uploaded to the channel when that's ready. But the review itself, the idea for this was to get an impartial review. So let me go through all the steps and stages as I usually do. So admin on the day, everything's sort of washed, cleaned, prepped, lightly polished on the panel just so that we're waxing onto fresh paint, as I always do. The wax itself, it says on the covering letter, show wax and potentially soft on the warmer days. I actually had the reverse, that this was a very cold day, well, in relation to what it can be. It was about 10 degrees, but there was a heavy wind, and the panel was cold, the pot was cold, I was cold, everything was cold. So the wax was quite firm in the pot. In terms of loading, however, it didn't really affect that because it was a reasonably oily wax by nature. So picking some up on the applicator was really, really easy. It really oiled up nicely. However, translating that onto the panel, and I think it was because the panel was cold, it wasn't a grabby wax. And I mean by that, like with some waxes in development, you can see they're not quite right. They don't have the key ingredients there. This one had some resistance to it, had a little bit of almost like a rubbery type of feel. I don't want to kind of cast aspersions, but it was a little bit like what I experienced with Courage, the Wax Planet wax that me and Josh Hotchkiss and Tony sorted ourselves. But Tony is denying that it's him, but could that be a clue? Could that be a tell? Who knows? That grabbiness didn't really translate through into removal. And on removal, it was very, very effortless. It didn't cause me any problems at all. I tried, as I always do, a short pile towel and a long pile, and the long pile was the way to go on this. I did, and you'll see when this is all kind of put together here, because there was an imminent threat of rain, I did one coat, then checked the water behavior just so I can get all the footage I needed. Then I doubled back and got the second coat on it. So the video is actually going to go in that order. On the second application, I tried it with a damp applicator, and that would be my recommendation to you guys. If you end up buying one of these mystery waxes, if it is a colder day, just use the applicator lightly damp, and the thing glides on the paint. It's such a difference. Again, when I did it with the damp applicator, it didn't affect removal. Removal was still a breeze. So that's the application. That's the in-use bit. When I buffed the wax, I was expecting glossy. It's a show wax, and it says that's what it's aimed towards. I was not disappointed. It gave such a nice gloss to the paint, and it is exactly what you describe as a show wax type of gloss. So, less so like the sealanty, synthetic-y type of finish, but more so, sort of that quality show wax, wet type of look. And we're talking on silver here, which is a bit awkward, a bit difficult to get that right. But this wax, I think, was on the money finish-wise when it did that, and even more so when I came to do the second coat. And you'll see that, like I say, at the end of the video. One coat was impressive, 2 coats for me I thought was absolutely bob on. And again, that would be my recommendation to you guys if you do scoop one up. Second coat, always for 2 reasons. One, so that you don't miss any patches, any spots. It's always good to ensure even coverage, but it really did just bring an extra bit of pop out of the finish, all told. And it was one that I was happy with. It did say on the covering letter that I'm more than able to guess, and it did say, and it's quite right, it's an impossible task, and I'd stand by that. In terms of if I was to guess the ingredients, and this is guesswork, it doesn't strike me as a ceramic. It didn't have that sort of feel to it, so I would say it is a wax. I'm not entirely sure that's exactly the correct term, but I know what I mean when I say that. Not a ceramic wax, I don't think. In terms of content, It seemed to have a bit of a Carnauba Montan type of finish to it. But again, this is just me putting my interpretation on it. Bottom line is, loved the finish. I thought the finish was absolutely bob on. But yeah, can't wait to find out and see exactly, what it is. And then I can find out what's in it and just see, is my eye keen or am I just making it up as I go? Because it's possible. I might just be winging this. Who knows? So that's the finish. That's coat 1. So as you can see, there's a nice wetness to the paint. It's beading up next. Like I say, after the beading, stick with it, and then I'll go through sort of the finish shots with the second coat laid down as well. Beading then. So with a show wax, it's typically not its strong point, and I mean that in comparison to, sort of more hybrids or ceramics, things like that. But I come to test the beading, and I thought the beading was absolutely spot on as well. I'm going to take a little zoom in a second for you guys in a minute. You can see the speed the water's running off the panel. Sheeting on this one was a real strong point, and I'll show you that in just a second. But I'd describe the beads as the following. I would say they were uniform, they were tightly packed, they were round, they were a little bit flat on the height. Not, bad beads, so please don't take it that way, but a little bit flat on the height. But for a show wax, these beads are, really very good, and impressed me just the same. In terms of durability, things like that, I'd normally discuss that at this point. There's a few things that I kind of I can't cover. Durability, yep, no idea. So let's say it at least lasted for filming, so we'll put that on it. Price, yeah, a little bit vague on that one as well. Labeling, somewhat ambiguous. There's so many things that I would normally cover that I'm kind of at a loss with at this point with this one. It kind of feels a little bit odd for me. It's my normal flow for going through a review. There's certain bits I like to mention, and I'm just missing all of them. But I will double back, and I'll get updates sorted once I do find out myself. But yeah, this is the water behaviour. So hopefully you agree. Beading very good. Sheeting was really good. And it was one of those where, when you are sheeting a card down, you can kind of get a lot of the water off to dry it ahead of time. This wax will help you for that massively. Finally then, this is the second coat, and this is finished. Like I say, the gloss after coat 1, I was really impressed with anyway. But after coat 2, I thought it was well worth it, well worth just that extra whiz around the car. All told, so my summary of the wax is this. I've enjoyed this immensely. I mean, it could have been absolutely pants on all cases, and I've enjoyed the mystery of this, and I continue to enjoy the mystery of this. It has melted my brain through several parts of several discussions with several people, where people are trying to sort of give their suggestions, but it's been worth it, and I've absolutely loved it as the process goes, and as the opportunity to review something blind. I've really sort of savoured that. The wax then, in summary, glossy, yes. Show wax, absolutely. Finish, loved it. Beading, very good. Bit of work on the application. Is it worth the work to get the results? Absolutely, yes. Hands down. I will, as and when the warmer weather rolls back round, revisit this when it's a bit softer. But all in all, I can say, yeah, great wax. Can be recommended. And as always, you can blame that on me. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you've any more guesses, if this gives you any clues, comment below. I am still waiting to find out myself, so let me know your thoughts. And check back soon. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out the big reveal when it does happen, hopefully next week. Take care. Bye-bye.